my gosh, good morning. It's not even daylight savings time and I'm like running behind, and so I apologize for the mess. I'm sure that every now and then your gym might look like mine. Anyway, Monday mobility, let's get moving. Let's have an amazing week. This is indicative that I had a good weekend. So I hope you did too. All right, let's start right off the bat. Let's get going with some lengthening of that posterior chain, backside. Hang on just a second. One more little adjustment to make. This is my favorite light, and I forgot it. All right. So, without question, this is an incredibly strong posture. But without question, the spine is meant to also live here a little bit, and it should be strong enough to go into extension. So neutral is kind of the sweet spot, but it doesn't mean we don't want to be strong and have access to everything that the spine is capable of doing, because it's incredible, right? So let's just start with just dropping the chin, dropping to the front, backs of your hands facing me, and just roll the backs of the hands all the way down to the ankles and then all the way back up, okay? So working flexion on the front side of the body, just as a starting point today, okay? So drop the chin, roll the shoulders in, backs of the hands facing. You can even turn the hands this way, which we usually like them this way, so we're gonna go here, and we're just gonna roll down the front of the thighs. Let the shoulder blades splay laterally on the spine, and just roll all the way down, and then all the way back up, and then we finish kind of in that anatomical position of opening everything up, all right? So the first move is always gonna be tuck the chin, roll the shoulders, splay the shoulder blades, and roll all the way down to the ground, and then all the way back up, and then open it up. And we're just going to do a couple more of those. Tuck the chin, roll the shoulders, splay the shoulder blades, all the way down, and all the way back up. And one more time. All the way down, and all the way back up. So that would be flexion. That's forward flexion, or a forward fold. Now let's go ahead and just do the exact opposite. So we're going to chase the pinkies a little bit. Set the feet pretty straight. If you take the fifth metatarsal on both sides, we want to parallel them. So take a look down at your feet and make sure that your feet are not turned out like a duck. Turn them almost in, but don't over exaggerate that. Okay, so just parallel the fifth metatarsal. Pinkies reach all the way up. Hands just in front of the forehead. And then we're just going to open up the front side. And you don't want to feel any discomfort in your low back when you do this. You're just going into extension and also decompression. So you're starting to think up. You're starting to think tensegrity. We're starting to think lift. And then we're bringing that right back down. Chase the pinkies. Let the lats start to pull the ribs off the hips. Open up the belly too. Lower body is nice and neutral. And 3, and 4, and I can definitely find tension through my belly, and I have a lot of good space there today. I don't feel like I'm stuck, so that's good. 4, now we can add a big breath, and 5. Okay, nice. Let's take it down into that half kneeling, 90-90. And as soon as we go into this position, if we've had a good weekend of training, you might immediately feel tension in the down leg, right? So from right there, we're in 90-90, right knee down. So match my knee down. So get your right knee down. Let's take right hand back on the sacrum, left hand on the lower abdomen. And what we're going to do is just pull the pubic bone up and drop the sacrum. Keep the head tall, keep the chin back, ears stacked over shoulder. So right there, we're just reestablishing nice neutral pelvis. So right here immediately, if you're training, you're gonna get a little tightness, a little tautness. Doesn't have to be a lot. And you just want chin back. We don't want your head forward. That's gonna pull you into flexion. Okay, so chin back and strong. Sacrum down, pubic bone up, and then relax it. And when I relax it and take the tension out of the tissue, I immediately go more into an anterior bias. I'm not going to say I'm tight and anterior because I'm not, but I definitely bias towards that, which gives me that beautiful lordotic curve. I don't have back pain because I think it's because I do this stuff all the time. Okay, right hand on the sacrum. Let's just give it one more little move. We're not tucking the tailbone, we're dropping the sacrum. It's two different vibes. If you do a lot of Pilates, a lot of times they'll use that nomenclature of tuck the tailbone under. I want to avoid a posterior tilt at all costs. So I don't even use it as a cue. All right, so first move is just to stack, chin back, ears over shoulders. Now we're left knee down, left hand back on the sacrum. We're going to drop the sacrum, lift the pubic bone, and stay tall. Nice. And what this is doing more than anything, when you establish neutral pelvis, it's going to give you more access to your glutes. And it's a very subtle little movement. So we're unloaded with that tissue, and then let's go ahead and load it again. Drop the sacrum. Lift the chest, elevate the pubic bone, and just hang out there for a second. And notice we're not going knee over toe, we're just kind of hanging out. Good. Okay, awesome. Let's go ahead and come back up. We'll go right leg in front of left, stack on the right leg, hands here. Now, we want the nose 2 inches in front of the toe, lead toe, okay? So there's that forward shift. We're still long, there's no hip flexion. Stay nice and tall. And from right here, let's go ahead. Drop the sacrum, elevate the pubic bone. See if you can pull the rib cage off the hips. Take the hands to the height of the heart. Perfect stack. And from right here, just stay here. Nice and tall. Think about lifting the ribs. Don't think about lifting the shoulders. Think about lifting the rib cage off of the hips. We're going to forward shift just a little bit, and then we're coming back to the heel on the back leg. So we're going to kind of pump through that heel just a little bit, starting to wake up the back line and the rear ankle. Okay? Just push through the foot, push through the foot, push through the foot. Good. I'm going to come at you from the front line. Let's go ahead and let's get the left leg in front of right. Pull the ribs off the hips. Shift forward ever so slightly so the nose is 2 inches in front of the lead foot. Now look at my back foot. Your back foot needs to be in slight internal rotation. It's the same relative positioning of the fifth metatarsal. This is important. So the back foot can't be here, okay? Can't toes face out. Heel lateral to toes, stay tall, pull yourself into tensegrity, that nice big lift. Stay tall, chin back, and we're going to pump that back foot. 2, 3, 4. So the rear hip is in an internal rotation. 5, 6, we'll go for 8, 7. We're going to do each one of these one more time. Relax the arms, right leg in front of left, feet in the right position, pull the ribs off the hips, shift forward just a little bit, hands to the front, keep the hands nice and strong, start to reach towards palms up, stay tall, pull the ribs away from the hips, you're not in flexion, you're not in extension, we're working neutral. I think I'm on 6, 7, and 8. That position, not here. Drop the shoulder blades, let them go down, let them come in. All right, other side, nice big breath, stack, float the hands to the height of the heart, forward shift, drop the shoulder blades, open the palms, here we go. Pump the back heel. Make sure that heel is lateral to the toes. 3, 4, 5. I never want anyone who had a huge weekend of training and racing to feel worried about Mobility Monday. This is your reset, okay? And if you're just getting started and your season isn't even anywhere near us, we've got weeks and weeks before anything interesting is going to happen. And from a competitive standpoint, this Monday is going to set you up for a great week of training. So it's either or. Okay, let's go wide. Get that relative foot position so the fifth metatarsal is parallel on each side. And all we're going to do, we're not flexing the spine now. We want to maintain the integrity. So let's go measuring sticks. Thumbs on the bottom rib, pinkies on the hip bone. Keep the chest up, and we're working the hip hinge. The hinge is the mother load of loading the body. When we get into lifting tomorrow, we want to have that hinge in a great spot. The spine is beautifully stacked, and we're just working the hips to the back. Good. We've got our measuring sticks to ensure that we're not flexing the lumbar spine at all, keeping the space the same. Measuring sticks are in place to maintain the integrity and position of the spine. I think I'm getting a lot of nuggets around the word spine. If I got $1 for every time I said that word, I'd be making money this morning. Push the hips back, hinge, 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 and good. All right, let's go back to the right leg in front of left, where we're going to work through thoracic spine rotation and hip rotation. And we're going to do that using a reverse archer, okay? So right leg in front of left. Make sure you have your right leg because that's important with the cueing. 2 hands to the height of the heart. Let's connect the fingertips and the thumb. Drop the shoulder blades nice and strong. We've got right leg in front of left, so we're going to pull the bow back with the right arm. Drop the left hip towards the midline and then bring it back, okay? So we've got right leg in front of left. We're pulling the bow back. Notice my eyes are staying to the front. Left hip towards the midline. 2, the hand doesn't move until the hip starts. Hips start first. 3, 4, and remember, when we train and when you ride your bike and when you run, your femur wants to begin externally rotating. This pushes it more into internal rotation. Thus, we end up probably at neutral. Another big word of the day, neutral, right? We don't want the body stuck and relaxed. We don't want the upper body stuck in flexion and rounding and forward. We don't want it stuck in extension. We want to find that happy middle, okay? Left side, nice and tall, pull the ribs off the hips. Make sure the foot position is there. Right shoulder's a little stuck. Okay, we've got left leg in front. We're going to pull the bow back with the left arm. Right hip towards the midline and come back. Right hip towards the midline. 2, 3, stay tall and stay forward shifted just a little bit. 5, 6, 7, one more. This is a pretty advanced move. 8, and if you're doing it right, you're going to have that right hip towards the midline. Let's hit that one more time. So right leg in front of left. This means the left hip is going to come into internal rotation. Stay nice and tall, shift forward, hands to the height of the heart. We're going to pull the right hand back like you're pulling a bow and arrow. And you got to keep your eye on the target. 1, pull it back. 2, little forward shift so we load the lead forefoot. 3, 4, we're going to 8, 5, creating space and strength in the core. So core strength, if you're achieving core strength using prone planks that don't have mobility associated with them, then you're probably you're not as strong and mobile through the core section, that the traditional way that people think about the core. If you're working with me, I can tell you that a strong core expresses itself in its ability to move. Movement is powerful, right? That's why mobility is so important. All right, left leg in front of right, hands to the height of the heart. Drop the shoulders, lift the head, Now we're on the left leg, so the left arm is pulling the bow and arrow. 1, and we have this beautiful separation of the upper and lower body. 2, pull it back. Keep your eye on the target. 3, this keeps the cervical spine neutral. It tells us that our head and neck are really in a nice position, while our thoracic spine, everything that the ribs attach to, is moving. Good. Pull and reach. And you can see this length that begins coming from that position. All right, let's take it down into half kneeling. We're going to go right into that neutral pelvis again. So right knee down, right hand is on the sacrum, lift the pubic bone. Right hand is coming up. Keep that neutral pelvis, and then we're going to side bend. So what else should the spine do? It should laterally flex. It should rotate. It should flex forward. It should extend back. All right? Let's reset that right hip. Drop the sacrum, lift the pubic bone. Stay really tall, right arm up, and then side bend. Side bend. And you can see that little bit of hip shift. Hips are going that way just a little bit. We want freedom. I've almost got my yin and yang arms going. Actually, why don't we just do that? Low arm reaches across the midline. Upper arm reaches across the midline. And good. Let's go other side. Left knee down. Drop the sacrum. Pubic bone up. We'll feel a little bit of tension there. We stay tall. Left arm up. Good. So there's no forward pushing. We're not pushing the knee over toe today. We're just reaching across the midline, lateral flexion. And you can see how a tight TFL, which is posterior and lateral to that hip bone on the left, might hold the lat a little bit tight, which creates less separation of the upper and lower body. I can't help myself. I just need to talk it out a little bit as we go through this. Hopefully that's part of the allure of Monday morning mobility. I have a lot of coaches that play well on this every week. And I think it's something that if you want your athletes to not only perform well, but also decrease the chance for injury, the spine's ability to flex and extend and laterally flex and rotate are really, really important. Because the less rigidity there is in the spine, the more fluid the messaging to the rest of the body, right? Because everything comes from the brain. Okay, just sit for a second, lean back, and let's just bounce a little bit. We didn't do any foam rolling today. Doesn't mean you shouldn't foam roll. If you have time, go ahead and hit a full body scan. We're just going to take that right foot up and just sit up nice and tall, neutral spine. And we're just going to pull that right foot up into the chest and then let the right knee fall to the side. Just give that a nice easy yank. I don't like that pigeon stretch where you use your body weight to lay on your leg to do this, but I just think it's too intense. This is just nice. Your body's going to give you whatever it has. Straight down, and then we'll do the same thing. We grab the foot and ankle, we just kind of pull it in, and then we let the knee just kind of flop to the side. Just give that a nice little hold. And good. One more each side. I want that knee to be able to flop to the outside. Nice and easy. It doesn't mean don't do the pigeon stretch. If you've been doing it a long time and it works for you, great, keep doing it. But if you haven't really fallen in love with this stretch, don't start. I just think it's too intense to lay your own body weight to force mobility where your body may not want it. And I think that that's part of the story of a really healthy program, is working with your body and not forcing it to do something. Just because other people can do it with their, skeletal setup and their athletic history and, whatever, I really have come to the place where I believe that our bodies have a story throughout our entire life, and we want to just keep doing what we want to do, and if we listen and work with it, it's going to work with us. And when it's tired, guys, sometimes it doesn't need another workout. Sometimes when you're tired, you just need a nap. All right, well, that's all we got for today. I'm so excited. It's March. Racing is just around the corner, which makes me super excited. A lot of good cycling starting in Europe, and there were some triathlons this weekend in New Zealand. And yeah, just let me know how I can help. And more than anything, I really appreciate you coming today. Peace.